Welcome to GITAM series of Insight videos. Today we're going to discuss a concept called subject-verb agreement. So what are the objectives of this session? Number one, we are going to understand what subject-verb agreement is all about. Next, we are going to understand some rules to answer questions on subject-verb agreement. And then finally, we practice a few questions. So let me show you the heading very clearly. It's subject-verb agreement. To solve questions related to subject-verb agreement in your INSAT or on any other exam, you must first know what a subject is, and then you must know what a verb is, and then you must know what is exactly agreement in this concept. So I'll take you there. Okay. Now, as I said, to understand subject-verb agreement concept, we must first know what a subject is. So here is the slide for you. Can you identify the subjects from these questions, from these sentences? Look at the first question. My father cooks every morning. Who cooks every morning? My father. I repeat, who cooks every morning? My father. Therefore, my father is your subject. Now, can you pause the video and answer the rest of the questions? Who gives you pocket money? My mother. Who teach you mathematics? My father and mother. Who loves you? My family. Who do not understand computer languages? Neither my father nor I understand computer languages. What is valuable resource? What is a valuable resource? Time. What waits for none? Time and tide. Now, I'm sure by now you must have understood what a subject is. It's very simple. Who or what we talk about, who or what we talk about in a sentence is called the subject. That's simple. So in subject-verb agreement, we now understood what a subject is, right? We very clearly understood what a subject is, who or what we talk about. Now let's go to verbs. Okay. Before I take you to the verbs, we have one more quiz. Okay, so in subject-verb agreement, we are still dealing with subjects here in a way. Now, can you tell me, when I say mathematics, is this singular subject or plural subject? Think about it. Is this singular subject or plural subject? It is singular. Mathematics is a great subject. Children, is this singular or plural? Children are playing outside, plural. Now, can you pause the video and answer the rest? Just tell me whether these subjects are singular or plural. Bread and butter. Though they are separated by the word and, they denote a single idea. Therefore, it is treated as singular. Bread and butter means your income. A college of boys. Understand? Though it ends with boys, we are only talking about a college. Therefore, it is singular. The quality of the products. Though it ends with products, plural, we are only talking about the quality here. Therefore, singular. Neither of them, meaning none of them. Therefore, singular. One of my friends ends with S, friends. However, it is still singular because we are only talking about one of my friends. Now, listen to me with a lot of attention, okay? The biggest challenge in solving subject-verb agreement questions is this. Your ability to identify whether a given subject is singular or plural is the biggest challenge, right? In a sentence, you should be able to understand whether the given subject is singular or plural, which is why we are practicing this slide. Okay, now that we understood what subjects are and whether they are singular or plural, we should learn to identify. We also understood that. Now let's see how to understand the verbs that we are talking about exactly in the context of subject-verb agreement. My father has given up smoking, right? Now, what is the heading? Identify the verbs that agree with the given subject. Now, first tell me what is the given subject? My father. Let's say my father have, let's say my father have given up smoking. Now, between this and this, between these two helping verbs, what do you think perfectly goes with my father? Should I say my father have, or should I say my father has? Think about it. Think about it. My father has arrived or my father have arrived. Think about it. Yes, you're right. We say my father has because my father is singular subject. Therefore, it must take a singular helping verb which is called subject verb agreement. Now let us look at the next question. My mother doesn't. My mother don't. My mother doesn't hide. My mother don't hide. Between these two, between these two helping verbs, what do you think is perfectly agreeing with the singular subject? What is the subject here? My mother. Who doesn't hide? My mother. My mother is the subject. So should I say my mother doesn't or my mother don't? Yes, you're right. We should say my mother doesn't because my mother is singular subject. It only takes singular helping verb. In this case, it is does. Next, what's the subject? Who have seen enough life? My father and my mother, right? My father and mother. Now tell me, is the subject singular or plural? It is plural. It is plural, right? If it is plural, should I use singular helping verb that is has, or should I use plural helping verb that is have? Which one should I use? We are supposed to use a plural helping verb with the plural subject. Now can you pause the video and try the rest? Now can you pause the video and try the rest? Should I say my family members were, were or was? What should I use? I should use were. So now we clearly know that a helping verb a helping verb and the subject should go together, should agree with each other, right? That's called subject verb agreement. To put it straight, to put it straight, to put it straight, singular subjects take singular verbs and plural subjects take plural verbs. Now you have a question. How do I know? How do I know which helping verb is singular and which helping verb is plural? It's very simple. Look at this. We always use he is, he was, he has, he does, she is, she was, she has, she does, it, right? It. Okay, it is, it was, it has, it does. Now, mostly except with am, because we say I am, right? Only with I we use am, right? So with all the singular subjects, we use these helping verbs. Across the language, remember, throughout the language, we use only these subjects with these singular verbs. Now see here. We are, we were, we have, we do, we, you, they. Okay? We, you, they. Now you must clearly understand with these subjects, you always use these helping verbs, right? So these are singular helping verbs and these are plural helping verbs. So if you look at this concept very clearly, subject is who or what we talk about in a sentence. Here verb refers to the helping verbs. The helping verbs. Am, is, was, were, will be, have been, has been, right? Helping verbs. Agreement. With singular subjects we use singular verbs. With plural subjects we use plural verbs. right? Now that you are clear with the concept, let us practice a few questions. Now tell me between these two, which one is perfect? So when you're solving subject verb agreement, what is the first step? Identify the subject. Is the subject singular? Is the subject singular or plural? Tell me. Is it singular or plural? Yes, you are right. Obviously, it is plural. Now, should I say, let's say I'm going to use a pronoun here, okay? I'm going to use a pronoun. Instead of my wife and husband, I would say they. Do you agree with that? Instead of saying the wife and husband, I would say they. Okay, now what is the given verb here? Given main verb here? Go. Should I say they go or they goes? What should I say? Should I say they go or they goes? Should I say they go or they goes? Of course, we say they go. Therefore, my answer is the first one. Now, please understand, they do go, they do go, and they go. Both mean the same. They go, they do go. In the context of subject verb agreement, okay, they go, they do go, both mean the same, right? Okay. Now, let us look at the next question. Can you answer this? Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, right? Early to bed and early to rise makes a man wise, right? Right. Now, can you tell me between these two, which one is correct? What is the difference? Look at this. We have an S form. First, tell me, is the given subject singular or plural? Is this singular or plural? Should I say they instead of the given subject? Should I use they or should I use it? Should I use it? Look at the rule. They are called compound subjects. They indicate a single idea. For example, bread and butter, horse and carriage, slow and steady, name and flame, name and fame, law and order, time and tide, spick and span, honor and glory. They are separated by and, but maybe they're separated by and. However, these compound subjects indicate a single idea, a single idea. Therefore, it should be treated as singular. That's why makes. So early to bed and early to rise makes a man wise or makes a man healthy. So this should be taken as one idea. Sir, how do I know in the exam? When I see and, should I take that as singular or plural? Trust me, there is no other way. You have to practice. Read and practice as many questions as possible. That's it. Now let us go to the next question. The orator and the statesman has arrived, have arrived. That's the difference. Now first tell me, what's the right answer? And now tell me which one. Like the orator, the statesman. Okay, now tell me whether this part is singular or plural. Whether the subject is singular or plural. How many people do you see here? First person is the orator and the second person is the statesman. Plural. Therefore, obviously answer is going to be the second one because have is used with plural subjects and has is used with singular subjects. Therefore, since this is plural, since there are two people, I'm going to use has. That's my answer. But what if they give you in this way? What? Even the rule is the rule that if you can read the rule and just explaining the rule here. What if they give you like this? The orator and statesman. The same person is the orator, the same person is the statesman. Then I'm going to use has. Let me give an example. Let's say producer. Will Smith is producer and also he's the director. He is the producer and director. Now, how many how many articles the How many should I use? The director, okay, the director. Should I say the director and the producer and the producer? Should I use the twice or once? Since the same person, since the same person is the producer and director, I'm going to use only one the director and producer. The director and producer is arriving to the sets of the movie, sets of the film, right? Now I want you to understand when there are two those, when there are two those, the subject is plural. When there is only one the subject is singular. Let's solve the next question. Neither my brother nor I am going to the party. Neither my brother nor I are going to the party. Now, how many subjects do we have? Subject number one, brother. Subject number two, I. Right? Now, which one should I consider? If I consider brother, it should be is. If I consider I, it should be am. If I consider both, the helping verb should be are. The rule is very simple. Neither nor, either or, but also they are called correlative conjunctions. They're called correlative conjunctions. Remember, when we are using neither nor, either or, not only but also, we must always consider the second verb, or I would tell you the last verb. Sometimes you see three subjects. Okay, you must always consider the last one. To put it in a grammar language, to put it in technical terms, I would say the verb agrees with the subject closest to it. So you should pick up something that is closest to the verb. What is the verb here? This is the verb position. Therefore, the closest is I. Therefore, answer is I am. I am. Okay. Let's solve the next question. The king with all his ministers were killed brutally. The king with all his ministers was killed brutally. As I told you, the biggest challenge is this. The biggest challenge is to identify whether the given subject is singular or plural. Now tell me, is this singular or plural? Is this singular or plural? This might look like plural, but it is not, because with all his ministers is an added part. Therefore, only the king is my subject. You can say this is very challenging. How do I understand? It's very simple. Do a small research on the concept called subject verb agreement. You will see it's the information is not overloaded, it's simple to the point, and you will see the same questions in your exam as well. What's the answer here? What's the answer? Was killed, not were killed. Why? Because my subject is singular. What's my subject? The king. What's my subject? The king. So when the subject is added with words such as besides, more than, or along with, do not consider that part as your subject. Though it adds meaning to the sentence, we are not going to consider that, and we're not going to place a helping verb keeping that in your mind. We should only go with the main subject here, right? The main part. Next. Okay, look at these two sentences. What do you think is perfect subject verb agreement here? Each of the speakers, when I say each of the speakers, is that singular or plural? When I say each of the speakers, is that singular or plural? Singular, because we say each. So should I say talks or talk? Should I say talks? Each one talks or each one talk. Which one is perfect? Of course, we say each one talks, right? Now read this rule very clearly. If the subject is a distributive pronoun, what is a distributive pronoun? Each, everyone, many a man, many a man. This might look like plural, but this is singular. Many a man has visited this place. Many a man has achieved this uh, role in this film. or many a man has done this activity before. See, everybody, nobody, somebody, all these distributive pronouns should be treated like singular. Okay, right. So none of the students, it's because you see S here, you should not think that it is plural. We should only consider this part. None means no one. Singular, therefore, singular helping verb. The phrases one of the and none of the are always followed by a plural noun. See, one of my friends, one of my cars, none of my relatives. Okay, they end with plural, but but they are singular, right? None of the relatives, meaning not even one. One of my friends, meaning there are many friends. I'm talking about one of them. Therefore, though they may end with plural, that entire subject part should be treated singular. 20 years is or 20 years are. Now, this is a very challenging question for students. When we are talking about sum of money, for example, $100 is a small amount for me. $100 is a small amount for me. I don't say $100 are, because I'm talking about sum of money. Okay, and see, for example, period of time. 20 years is not a short amount of time, short period of time. 30 seconds is short period of time. I don't say 30 seconds are. I don't say 20 years are. I don't. So when I talk about period of time or sum of money, I do not treat it as plural. Same is the case with kilometers. 20 kilometers is not easy to travel. So with this, we have come to an end. I want you to understand that subject verb agreement is not an easy concept. I'm going to quickly summarize all the concepts here. First, to solve subject verb agreement questions, we must learn to identify what a subject is. What a subject is. What is a subject, by the way? Who or what we talk about in a sentence is our subject. And then we must then we must then we must bring in the verb that perfectly goes with the given subject. I'll show you some singular and plural subjects. So as we discussed, these are singular verbs and these are plural verbs. And where does the biggest challenge lie? The biggest challenge lies here, to recognize whether the subject is singular or plural. Sometimes certain subjects look singular, but they are not. They look singular, but they are plural, and vice versa. Some subjects look plural, but they are not. They are singular. With this, I'm calling today. Practice the material that I'm going to share with you. Thank you.